Good morning. It's the last day of February 2022, February 28th. It's a gray day. Little tiny bit of snow falling, nothing to speak of. And it's minus 12 Celsius, which is about 10 or 11 Fahrenheit, I guess, somewhere in there. It's a Monday, so that means we're walking along the creek. I've got the external mic in because it worked last time I went out when it was warmer. So we'll see. It does seem to have something to do with the temperature, and it's not too cold today, but it is gray. Not going to be one of those pretty blue sky days today. A little bit of snow, it's gray, a little bit of fog, all that kind of stuff. Well, my Kickstarter pre-launch page, which I think I mentioned already on Saturday, is up and running for Shapers of Worlds Volume 3. That'll be the third anthology I've kickstarted, featuring authors who were guests on my Aurora award-winning podcast, The World Shapers. It's at, the easiest way to get there is tinyurl.com/shapersofworlds3 with numeral 3. That will take you there, and that will turn into the actual campaign page. Once it goes live, which I intend to have happen at noon Eastern on March 8th, Tuesday, March 8th. So, it's garbage day. You may have just guessed that. Lots of great backers rewards. There's ebooks and hardcover books and paperback books and artwork and poetry and tuckerizations where you get your name used for the name of a character in one of the stories. There's several of those. There's Zoom chats with authors. Those are limited to 4 people, so it won't be any more than 4 people chatting with an author. So lots of good stuff. So I hope you'll check that out. tinyurl.com/shapersofworlds3. And of course, the first 2 Shapers of Worlds anthologies are available in bookstores or through bookstores. Any bookstore you like, you can order it. And if you go to books2read, numeral 2.com/shapersofworlds and shapersofworlds2, numeral 2, those URLs will give you lots of links to places where you can buy the books. All published by my own Shadowpaw Press, which is where a lot of my attention is focused right now, because I'm editing Thickwood, which will be one of my new novels. It's coming out this fall, and not my novel. It's written by Gail M. Smith. Saw preliminary cover art last week, which is exciting. Hello, Numene, I'm going to say. In the Emirates. Welcome. Probably colder here than there. And then the other new book I'm publishing this fall is by Matthew Hughes. It's called The Emir's Falcon, and it's a YA novel. Both of them non-science fiction fantasy in this case. I'll have an announcement later today of another book I'm going to publish a new edition of, but I won't say anything till I've signed the contract. And I'm also publishing a new edition of a science fiction novel called Duotero by Brad C. Anderson. That'll be coming out in fairly short order. I've done the copy editing and just need to get the cover design done, and I can pull the trigger on that one once the author has gotten back with his copy edits, if any. So, lots happening with Shadowpaw Press, which is at shadowpawpress.com if you want to check it out. Here's the dike. We'll go up in there. Take us along the creek. And there's the creek. Dog walker, my first dog of the day. Albert Street down there. This is a flood control dike. Back in the 70s, this wasn't here, and the creek flooded quite a considerable distance up in that direction. Not as far as our house, which is pretty far uphill, but certainly a block or two. Caused a lot of damage. Didn't live here then, I was in Weyburn. And there's actually more precipitation happening than I realized. I can feel it on my face. Kind of a very light snow. Tiny are ice crystals. Well, snow is ice crystals, but somehow we distinguish between those two. Ice crystals are smaller than snow. I don't know why I would say that. They're all ice crystals, just form differently depending on the temperature and atmospheric conditions. Wasn't that? Seems like not that long ago we saw that tree covered in spring flowers, and it won't be that long till we see that tree covered in spring flowers again. Spring is coming. Officially, it's here in less than a month. Weather-wise, it might be a little longer. Morning. Okay, let me decide how I want to walk here today. I think I went along the dike last Monday, so I'll go over and walk on the other side today. Actually, my face is colder than I thought it would be. I haven't pulled my scarf up. May have to. So far, I think the microphone has stayed connected, so that's good. Here's the footbridge. Oh. So looking east along the creek, as I always look both ways when I'm on the bridge. Looking west along the creek. Comes more dog walkers, but I'll be in front of them. Kiwanis Park. Yes, coming up on the oak, there goes the mic. All right, I'll unplug it. I'll plug it in once. Two. It does seem to have something to do with the cold, because it was much warmer on Saturday when I walked, and it stayed connected the entire time. The only thing I can think of, and I don't see how it could, I don't know if it actually makes sense or not, but the only thing I could think of is if somehow the plug shrinks more in the cold than the receptacle does, and it loses its connection. You wouldn't think that would be a thing, but that's the only thing I can think of, because it definitely seems to be related to cold. Which means, of course, the problem will go away once it warms up. At least until next winter. But I've got to keep my eye on it now to make sure I catch it if it goes off again. Which it will. I'm sure of it. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. I'll just go back to the ambient sound from the phone mic for this walk. It's got a little bit of better sound to start with. It isn't necessarily bad. It's if it's windy, it's really bad. And occasionally it'll fade out or something if I turn my head or the mic tries to even out the sound around it. Third dog of the day. Makes my head itch. Creek is just right there. You can walk closer to it, but I don't know how deep the snow is, and it's been kind of where there's been some cross-country skiers down there, so it's probably not very broken down, pushed down, beaten down, I guess. The ballpark. You know, I could go down there just to be different. Why don't I go down here just to be different? This will take us over to Elphinstone, and I can grab the crosswalk as usual, just from a slightly different spot. There's some decent snowdrifts. A bench. Gonna be a while before anybody sits on that. These are like dressing rooms and washrooms and stuff over here. It's a clubhouse. Outfield fence. If you hit it this far, it's a home run. Probably mostly softball played on here, so it'd be rare to hit something that far. Way too small for a hardball. Hardball could hit over here very easily. So I suspect they mostly play softball. Well, I say easily. I don't think I could do it, but I was never very good. It's my eyes. I have no depth perception to speak of. At least I didn't. Playing in glasses. And, oh, snowshoe hair. To pull my scarf up a little bit just to give my face a bit of relief, if I can. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, I can a little bit. That's good. I'll rub my nose a little. I won't keep it there, but just for the moment. Now I hope there's a sidewalk on this side. That's clear. Should be. Yes, there is. This is Elphinstone. Covering my face, but I believe our mask mandate is gone as of today. So yay! Everybody's dropping them everywhere. I'll probably walk downtown today too, although I won't be live streaming that. And have lunch. I don't have to wear a mask when I enter the hotel. So always silly anyway. So normally, if I'd walked along the normal path, I would come out right up here. Sherman Park. Please do not walk on the ski trails, says the sign. Another reason not to go down closer to the creek back there, because that would have been walking on the ski trails. I guess there was a sign there too. Oddly, I'm colder now than on the colder days because I haven't bundled up quite as much. Maybe I'll even put my hood up a bit. My ears a bit more kind of warmth. There we go. Minus 12 is still fairly cold, but a lot warmer than minus 27, which I walked last week, or minus 34, which I walked one memorable morning around the lake. I'm kind of okay with snow through February. After that, I'm ready for it to melt, but it's usually another month before it does so seriously. Or at least some weeks. Long-range forecast last time I looked didn't show any significant melting through the middle of March. So winter still holds fast here in the Great White North, or this portion of the Great White North. Gee, why do they call it the Great White North? I can't quite imagine. I took Sunday off. I might still take off one day on the weekends, but I'll try to be more religious on the weekdays, oddly enough, about the walks. Now that the weather's a bit better. As I said before, I always feel like I'm getting suited up to go outside my spacecraft when I bundle up for minus 30 weather. It is life support equipment, after all. Sure, we got oxygen, but the cold will kill you too. Not quite as quickly as lack of oxygen, but it can still do the job. Cold kills more people than heat does. If you don't count fire, I guess. But temperature-wise, cold is way worse than... A chilling planet would be way worse than a warming planet. Creek to the east. Creek to the west. Always sobering to think that not that many thousand years ago, where I'm standing was under a kilometer of ice. I'm not standing, I'm walking, but you get the point. Was it 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers? It's a lot of ice anyway. I think it's a kilometer of ice, more or less. It's like, there's nobody around to measure it. or there might have been people around, but they weren't measuring it. This is a better way to say that. There were definitely people around. Humans survived the ice ages. Obviously, or we wouldn't be here. This road only bends for aesthetic purposes. It's a park path. Bicycle path. It's fun to cycle. I haven't cycled in years. Somebody stole my bicycle. 3 times I've had bicycles stolen in Regina. I haven't replaced it since the last time. Always out of my garage. Worst thing is they took my bike helmet as well, and it's the only one I ever found that fit me. And I don't want to ride without a helmet if I ever ride again. Having fallen off my bike, which I mentioned on the walk on Saturday, I wasn't wearing a helmet that day, but fortunately nothing bad happened, but it certainly could have. I fell once riding my bike to Science Center too when I worked over there. I remember out to work all scraped up. And of course I've fallen walking too, but only once this winter, and that was back on November 11th. You can go back and watch it if you want. That's the only time I really went down hard. I fell in the snow on another walk out on the other side of the bridge here, and I cut through snow that was deeper than I appreciated. But that was just going to my knees in the snow, and I'm struggling a bit to get up because I had the gimbal in one hand. Good morning, Colleen. No, I live streamed my walks. Heading back to the creek now. Comes a bunch of dogs, 2 of them anyway. Three people, 2 dogs. It's a full house. It would be if they all live in the same house. Morning. What I'm going to do is walk back a little different here. I'll go under the bridge, up on the other side, and then down through the neighborhood on that side of the creek, instead of walking down the other side of the park, just to be a bit different. See what it's like under the bridge. It's not always very well cleared under there. Or something like that. Let's see what I see when I get to the other side. Like the chicken crossing the road. There should be a path up to the bridge from the other side. Not a snow there, they just shoved out of the way. So this is the Pasqua Street Bridge. Be careful of ice down here. See some bare ice over there shining. I don't think anybody's cycling along here right now. I guess you could, but it wouldn't be easy. Now, there should be a path up to the bridge if it's been beaten down. Yeah, I think so. Here. Well, maybe not. This is where I fell in the deeper snow, but it's much better beaten down now. Never did see a path up there. All right, then we'll go this way. I guess we will walk down this side of the creek. Walk down here to Saskatchewan Express. It's an old school, but that's where Saskatchewan Express hangs out now. Performing Arts Company and School. Performing Arts School. Apartment buildings over there. Maybe I'll go up one block instead of walking down this side of the park, and that'll make it a little different too. Walk down 15th instead of College. No, 14th instead of College. '14th instead of 15th. I'll get it yet. Through their parking lot here. I rehearsed the Fantastics in here years ago before Saskatchewan Express had the space, but the school was already abandoned. It was with Thai Productions. There you go, Sask Express. So we've turned the corner. Now from here on, it's heading home. Alarms going off. One more block and then we'll turn right. I guess I haven't quite turned for home yet. That'll be the next block. This will take us by Connaught School. Going this way. People over here are not paying any attention to the snow clearing bylaw. This whole street's been bad. Get over here so I don't have to walk right by the honking car. Oh, thank goodness. Lots for sale. Right, here's 14th. Go down to the right. Sidewalk look like down this way? I think it might be better on the other side. So we'll take the north side. Somewhat better anyway, but again, not a lot of good snow clearing going on here. However, a little bit of snow, it's actually less slippery than if it goes down to concrete and then you get ice on it, which happens a lot. Funny, some neighborhoods are really good and some are like this. I don't know if it's peer pressure, so if you live in a neighborhood where a lot of people don't bother, then you don't bother. And if you're in a neighborhood where almost everybody clears their sidewalks well, you're more likely to do it. I suspect there's something to that. I have to keep my eyes on my feet more than I have to in the summertime. Or not on my feet, but just in front of my feet, so you can see what's coming. If you can see it, because it's all white. Sometimes it just doesn't register, some thing you trip over or slip on. These boots I have pretty good traction, way better than my runners do. And dress shoes would kill you out here in a hurry. Worst fall I ever had, I've always been in dress shoes. Almost hit my head 3 or 4 years ago, slipping in dress shoes. And if I'd hit that little low brick wall that I almost hit with my head, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. However, all's well that ends well. We all have close calls like that, often in cars. In the multiverse, I'm dead somewhere, infinite number of places. I like this universe. This branch of the multiverse is my favorite. I have a book I want to write, sort of a multiverse story. I have a bunch of books, all notes sitting there just waiting to write, and I don't get to them. And I'm not getting any younger, so I will do some writing today, though, on the one I'm working on now, which is a young adult. I don't think you'd call it horror. Fantasy, I guess. A bit on the dark side. Called Changers. It's not about werewolves, but it sort of is. It's about shapeshifters, but they're not werewolves. And they're not really shapeshifters. They change into creatures, but they're not werewolves. So, Changers. It was supposed to be published by Cheezine, and then they imploded. And yet another potential or publisher of mine went away. I've killed a lot of publishers, metaphorically. What's going on up there? I see flashing lights, equipment. Now, I am a publisher, and my goal is to not orphan any authors and stay in business. In some fashion. So people don't tell stories about me at conventions, except good ones. Oh, my publisher was so great. That's the kind of story I want to be told. Actually, I prefer that in the present tense. My publisher is so great. Better to have people say nice things about you while you're alive, I think. It's a dangerous ice along here, speaking of staying alive. Gotta keep my eyes on the ground. What are they doing? It looks like they're getting ready to dig something. Is it a broken water main? I don't see water. Something else. Clearly going to dig a hole. Got to fix something underground. Looks like. Might just be the connection to that house. Plumbing and heating. Either that or they're planning to tear it down. It does have an abandoned look. I wonder if they're going to demolish it. Huh. That could be what's about to happen. We'll find out next time I walk this way, I guess. Yeah, and there's a Loras bin there that's full of junk. I'll bet you it's being torn down. The house next to us has been sold, and although they're renting it right now, we suspect they'll be tearing it down sometime in the future, which will be sad. It's the same era as our house, and we knew the people who lived there well, my wife knew them for decades. They were really good people. But things move on. Okay, we crossed Elphinstone. It's always with an old house. Well, this is really always post children's artwork, which is nice. Maybe out of focus, but there it is. Oh, there's more. I don't know if it's a teacher and these are from her class, or if it's a daycare, or exactly what it is. But there's always children's artwork on that rainbow fence there. There's these little short avenues here that don't match up to the main cross streets in this neighborhood. So you get these little half blocks. This is Gesman Avenue. I've gone well over 300 subscribers to this channel now. Well, over anyway, maybe not well over, which is fun. Not that I get 300 views on every video, but most of them top 100. And occasionally you'll get something much, much bigger. Like my walk in St. John's was over 2,000 views. Now, if only I lived in Ottawa, those guys, well, the Freedom Convoy was there, were raking up huge numbers, but of course they will have all started to peter off now that the protest has been dispersed. Of course, they can be covering the anti-Russian protests now. And there are still protests going on, they just don't have the trucks and the bouncy castles and the hot tubs and all the other signs of an insurrection. Honestly, if you watch the live streams, you thought it looked more like a Canada Day party than anything else. We're all supposed to think that they were evil incarnate. That's what we're told by the media. I like this little old row house here. Heavens, look. Good morning from Saskatchewan to you there in Pakistan in the evening. It's 9:15, more or less, in the morning here. Let me guess, Pakistan would be at least 10 hours, I would think. 8 to 10. I'm good. How are you? As long as I don't fall down on the ice, I'll be good. almost home. Another 10 minutes or so here. Garnet Street connects to Leopold Crescent. Metallic is the one that will take me straight down to my intersection. A couple of blocks up here. It's minus 12 Celsius here, if you're wondering. Which is a lot warmer than minus 27, which I walked in last week, and minus 34 that I walked in one day around the lake. A moving van with its ramp blocking the sidewalk here. Well, I don't need to cross here. I can go down to the right. If they're not sitting on the sidewalk, they might be on the sidewalk, I can't tell. Oh, I guess I can go around it. Not any trouble. Somebody's moving in or out. Let's go down to college for the last little bit here. Actually, we could go around Connaught. Oh no, Connaught would be one over. Sorry, forgetting my own neighborhood's layout. This has got to connect to Angus right here. I thought it was one more block. No, one more block is Metallic. The Crescent starts one block this way, so we'll just walk down the Crescent. A house for sale if you're looking. Could use some work. Probably one to be sold and torn down, would be my guess, most likely. There's still lots of old houses down here, but there's also new ones that have popped up over the years and continue to as the old ones get torn down. The neighborhood dates back to the teens and 20s. I think the oldest house is from 1914 or something like that. 1910. Another dog. I don't catch him at that speed. Maybe I will go over to Connaught just to be different. No, but that's out of the way. Just have to walk around him, I guess. Very slow dog walker. Maybe it's an old dog or an old owner. Keep my eyes on the ice again. There's another house for sale up here by the fire hydrant. Another old one. That one looks in good shape. Imagine whoever buys that will keep it. Looks like it's been renovated in the not too distant future. At least the exterior's been done. Our exterior needs to be done. But you know, it takes money. Money makes the world go around. And we spent a lot of money on interior renovations not that long ago. We were planning to build a deck this spring, and a slight extension to the back. And we need some windows and blinds inside, and yes, we need to have the stucco looked at on the outside and the whole thing painted. So buy my books, that's what I'm saying. EdwardWillett.com. 2 T's on Willett, 2 L's, 2 T's. ShadowpawPress.com. Or on Amazon, or wherever you like to buy books. You'll find me. That's a cool house. Hard to tell from the outside, it's really cool on the inside. Built by an architect, designed for himself. All right, this is our corner coming up, so I'll be stopping here in a minute. Not sure how long that was, but it should be close to an hour. Probably a little under. And I should be back every day this week. That's my plan anyway. Barring unforeseen circumstances or really, really bad weather. So we'll stop here at this intersection. Thanks for walking with me, whether live or if you're watching the recording. Subscribe if you haven't, that'd be great. And 52 minutes, so a little under an hour. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.